Hey everyone, welcome to Yoga with Maria. I'm Maria and today we're practicing bridge pose. So bridge pose is a back bend. So we're gonna open up the front of the chest and the shoulders as well as the front of the hips. So if you're someone who sits at a desk most days of the week on a computer or spends a lot of time looking down at your phone, which I think we're all a little guilty of that, right? This is gonna be a great pose to get to know and to love. And we're gonna practice 3 variations that will modify the level of intensity. So there's truly something in here for everyone. So let's grab our mats and try this out together. All right, yogis, come to your space or your mat for props today. You'll want one block if you have one. You could also do a thick book that's about this width on the lowest height of a block. If you don't have a block or a thick book, you can also use a blanket and you're just gonna fold it up enough so that it's no thicker than a yoga block and you've got a nice wide kind of surface here. This is, like we talked about, a back bend, and so it's important to not do this pose just cold, right off the couch. So we're gonna do a little bit of movement here in the beginning to warm ourselves up. So just go ahead and come to your mat and set up in a hands and knees setup. So the shoulders stack over the wrist, the hips stack over the knees. You've got 90-degree angles in the body. And then just right here, begin to tune into your breath. Let's just breathe in and out. 2 more breaths in and out. 1 more, breathe in. Breathe out. This time, keep the breath, arch the back, belly drops, chest reaches forward, gaze goes up for cow pose. Exhale, press into the hands, round the spine for cat. Let the head be heavy, back of the neck is long. Inhale. Drop the belly, chest reaches forward and up. Cow. Exhale, round the spine. 1 more time. Breathe in for cow. Breathe out for cat. Come back to neutral. From here, the right toes will tuck behind you, so you'll straighten out the right leg. And then just press into the heel a few times, opening up the back of the leg. And then from here, the left shin will turn to the side as the right heel spins down. Right arm reaches up, breathe in. Breathe out, you can reach the arm over the ear. Try to spin the pinky finger down and then take the chest up and underneath the armpit. Gaze goes up and underneath the armpit rather. Take 1 more breath in here. This is supported side plank. Another breath out. Hand comes to the mat. Tuck both toes so you're in a plank pose or top of a push-up. Breathe in. Breathe out. Just lower all the way to your belly. From here, untuck the toes. Hands come underneath armpits, maybe 1 inch behind them. And then breathe in. Lift the head and the chest. This is cobra pose. Exhale, stay here. A little back bend. Just take it easy to start. This is 1. Breathe with me in. And out. 2. 1 more. Breathe in. Breathe out. Lower the forehead to the mat. Tuck the toes and just make your way back to child's pose. Forehead comes to the mat. Take a breath in and out. Come back to hands and knees now. Set up back in your 90-degree angles and then breathe in. Belly drops, chest reaches forward. Breathe out, round the spine, just doing cat-cows, another 3 rounds here. Breathe in, belly drops, chest lifts, gaze goes up. Exhale, press into the hands, round the spine, take the gaze to the navel. 1 more here with the breath, inhale. Exhale, round the spine, back of the neck is long. And then come back to neutral. And then you'll tuck the left toes behind you. Take a couple pulses into the heel. So you're just pressing the heel back behind you to open up the back of the leg. Good. And then right shin comes behind you. Spin the left heel down. Left arm reaches up. Breathe in. Breathe out, reach the hand up and overhead for a supported side plank. The gaze can go up and underneath that armpit. Ooh, feels good. Open up the side of the body. Breathe in. Breathe out, hands come to the mat. And then set up in plank pose. Breathe in, both toes tuck. Breathe out, this time lower the knees. Arch the back, elbows bend straight back. Lower the chest and the chin. Head and butt are lifted. Untuck the toes. Breathe and slide forward for cobra pose. We've been here before. Exhale, just lower the forehead down to the mat. This time the fingertips are going to come off your sticky mat, or just wider if you're on the floor. Elbows point up to the ceiling. Tent the fingertips. Squeeze legs together, tops of feet press. And then breathe and peel the head and the chest up any amount. Breathe out, reach the chest forward and down. Forehead comes back to the mat. Inhale, peel up, head and chest lift. Exhale, lower. One more time, breathe in, head and chest lift. Exhale, take forehead to the mat. And then from here, hands come by underneath the armpits, and we're just gonna roll over onto our back and get started in bridge pose. So get yourself to your back and then bring the soles of the feet to the mat. You'll bring the heels in close to the hips. The fingertips don't have to be brushing the tips of the heels, but they should be pulled, close to the body. Arms are by the sides here. So we're gonna start with the most least intense, actually, posture. Modification of this pose. So you'll take a block, or you can take the blanket that you set up, and you'll take it on the widest, flattest setting. Just press down into the heels, press the hands down to lift the hips up, and then just slide the block underneath the sacrum or the low back. So the sacrum is that hard triangle-shaped bone at the lower spine. And so set up your block so that this feels like you're supported and that you have your weight evenly distributed. You don't have a super big curve in the low back. You don't feel like there's any pressure on this actual spine. And this is modification number 1. So you can do the same thing if you wanted to use the blanket. Try to use the curved edge of the fold face that toward your neck or your head. So I'll just show what that looks like as well. Depending on how much blanket you've got, it might be a little bit of less of a back bend compared to a block or a book. Cool, so you can stay here as long as you need. If you want to make this a little bit more intense, come along with me. You'll press down into the feet, lift the hips up, and then you'll move your prop to the side. And then from here, you'll grab the edges of your mat. And if you don't have a mat, you can just take the hands by the sides and press the palms down. But if you have a mat, grab the edges of your mat and pull in opposite direction and allow this to lift the hips up. So you're pressing down into the feet. Pull your low belly in. Think about your tailbone pointing away from the head towards the knees. So there's a tilting back a bit of the pelvis, just so that we make sure it's neutral here. And then you'll start to feel this in the quads because you're lifting up. Take another breath in and out. Just lower the hips back down to the mat. Keep the feet where they are. And then we'll move on to the third variation, the most intense of these bridge modifications. And what you'll probably see if you go to a public yoga class, this is probably what a teacher would call. So from here, palms are going to face down onto the mat. Same action, press down into the feet to lift the hips up. And then from here, you'll interlace the hands underneath the back. And then press down into the forearms and the fists. And you'll roll each shoulder underneath you if you can, if it's available. And then keep pressing the forearms and the hand down to lift the hips up. And then think about pulling the heels. You're gonna activate the legs so that you can pull the heels in like towards the chest or towards the upper back. So you're not actually moving the feet, it's just a muscle activation. It's called isometric movement. So there's not actual movement, it's just the way that you're subtly pulling or using the muscles. And that will help you reach the tailbone towards the knees. Take another breath in and out. To come out of this, we'll release the hands. Palms of the hands press down onto the mat. You can release the shoulders one at a time and then slowly roll yourself down. You'll feel the low back touch the mat last. From here, keep the feet on the mat, please, and separate the feet about mat width distance. The knees will knock in. You can take one hand to the belly, one hand to the heart. Let the eyes close and just notice the effects of this posture on the body. Notice the breath. Just allow the spine a few moments here to come back to its neutral or natural curve. So we're going to stay here for at least 5 breaths. That's 3, 4, 5. You can stay here as long as you need. To come out of this, you'll heel toe the feet back to hips width distance. You can just let the knees fall to either side and press yourself up to sit. I'm going to sign off for now. Thanks for joining me for Bridge Pose. Namaste, yogis. Bridge pose is an invigorating posture, so it often lifts our energy. So the perfect next video to check out is my whole body flow. It's just 18 minutes where you can find more strength and peace. And of course, before you go, don't forget to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any new videos, as well as leave a comment below and let me know what other yoga poses you'd like to break down together and learn. Can't wait to see you next time.